Good morning, everyone. Have you ever wished that someone would think about you all the time? That they'd feel your absence so deeply that they couldn't help but crave your presence? Well, today I'm going to share the secrets of making someone miss you like crazy. Have you ever noticed that we tend to appreciate things more when they're not readily available? This is a fundamental part of human psychology. When something or someone is always within reach, we start to take them for granted. However, the moment that thing or person becomes scarce, we suddenly realize their importance. The same principle applies to relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or even professional. If you want someone to miss you like crazy, you need to ensure that they truly value you first. The key to being valued is not just about being present in someone's life, but about how you show up when you're there. If you're constantly available, responding to messages instantly, or always initiating plans, the other person never has the chance to experience life without you. They don't get the space to realize how much they actually enjoy your presence. Instead, by subtly pulling back, you create a contrast, one that forces them to notice your absence and appreciate what you bring into their life. Scarcity creates desire. Think about limited edition items, whether it's exclusive sneakers, rare collectibles, or VIP tickets. The moment people realize something isn't easily accessible, they want it even more. This works in relationships too. If you're always giving your time and attention freely, the other person won't feel the need to chase it. But the moment you start prioritizing yourself and your own life, they'll start wondering why they don't have unlimited access to you anymore, and that's when they begin to miss you. Another powerful way to make someone value you is by ensuring that every interaction with you is memorable. People miss experiences that evoke deep emotions. If your presence brings joy, excitement, or comfort, they'll naturally start to crave those feelings when you're gone. On the flip side, if you're always around but the connection feels dull or predictable, your absence won't have much of an impact. The goal is to make sure that when you're not around, they feel it on an emotional level. It's important to note that creating value isn't about playing games or manipulating someone's emotions. It's about being intentional with how you invest your time and energy. If you're always available, it might seem like you care, but it can actually have the opposite effect. It can make the other person take you for granted. Instead, when you become someone who balances their own needs with their connections, people will naturally start to appreciate your presence more. Additionally, people tend to miss those who bring a sense of uniqueness into their lives. If you have qualities, habits, or a personality that stands out, it becomes harder to replace you. Think about friendships or relationships where someone had a signature laugh, a particular way of giving advice, or a special talent that made them different. Those are the details that make people irreplaceable. If you cultivate your individuality and let your best qualities shine, you won't just be someone they miss, you'll be someone they can't forget. At the end of the day, the secret isn't about making yourself unavailable just for the sake of it. It's about being valuable in a way that makes your absence felt. When someone realizes that life feels a little emptier, a little less exciting, or a little less meaningful without you, that's when they start missing you like crazy. One of the most powerful ways to make someone miss you is by creating space and mystery. When you're always accessible, always sharing every little detail about your life, and constantly in someone's presence, they never have a chance to wonder about you. Mystery is intriguing. It keeps people thinking, guessing, and wanting to know more. The moment you step back and create some space, you allow curiosity to build. That curiosity then transforms into longing, making the other person crave your presence. Space in a relationship, whether romantic or platonic, doesn't mean cutting someone off or playing mind games. Instead, it means allowing room for both of you to breathe. Think about a great book or movie. The best ones don't reveal everything right away. They leave clues, they build suspense, and they make the audience anticipate what's coming next. Your presence should feel the same way. If someone already knows what you're doing every second of the day, where's the excitement? Leaving some details to the imagination keeps them engaged and wanting more. One common mistake people make when they want someone to miss them is over-communicating. It's natural to want to stay connected, but constantly checking in, texting all the time, or always initiating conversations can actually work against you. When you take a step back and let the other person reach out first, it shifts the dynamic. Instead of you chasing their attention, they start wondering why you're not as available. This small change makes them more invested in you because now they're the ones putting in the effort. Social media plays a huge role in maintaining mystery. If you post every single detail of your life online, there's no room for curiosity. Instead of sharing everything, leave some parts of your life off social media. Maybe post a photo of an exciting event without revealing too much, or mention an upcoming trip without giving away all the details. This makes people wonder what you're up to and why they aren't involved. A little bit of mystery keeps people intrigued and wanting to know more about your world. Creating space isn't just about physical or digital distance, it's also about emotional space. When someone feels like they always have your emotional support on demand, they may start to take it for granted. But if you focus on your own growth, your own goals, and your own happiness, you naturally become less dependent on their attention. This independence makes you more attractive and forces them to realize that they need to put in effort to stay connected to you. Mystery also comes from unpredictability. If you're always available at the same times, responding in the same way, or saying the same things, there's no excitement. Switching things up, maybe being less predictable with your responses, changing your routine, or occasionally being unavailable creates a sense of uncertainty. That uncertainty makes people think about you more because they don't know exactly what to expect. It keeps you on their mind longer, making them miss you even more. At its core, space and mystery work because they tap into human psychology. People naturally desire what they can't fully have. When you give someone everything up front, they don't feel the need to seek you out. But when you hold back just a little, when you leave parts of yourself unexplored, you make them want to learn more, see more, and most importantly, be around you more. Being unforgettable is the key to making someone miss you like crazy. People don't long for someone who blends in with the crowd, they miss the ones who leave a lasting impression. Whether it's your energy, your kindness, your humor, or your unique way of seeing the world, the things that set you apart are what make you truly memorable. When someone thinks back on the moments they spend with you and realizes no one else quite matches your presence, that's when they start missing you deeply. One of the best ways to be unforgettable is by creating emotional experiences. People don't just remember words, they remember how you made them feel. If you brought laughter, excitement, comfort, or inspiration into their life, they will associate those feelings with you. Even after you're gone, they'll find themselves reminiscing about the good times and wishing they could relive them. The stronger the emotional connection you create, the more you linger in someone's mind. Another way to leave a lasting impression is by being genuinely authentic. In a world where many people try to fit in, authenticity stands out. When you are unapologetically yourself, whether that means being goofy, passionate, adventurous, or deep, you make an impact that can't be replaced. People miss those who make them feel comfortable being themselves. If you bring that kind of energy into their life, they won't be able to forget you. Memorable people also have signature traits, something that makes them unique. Maybe it's the way you always tell the best stories, the way you give the best advice, or even something as simple as a particular scent you wear or a phrase you always use. These small but distinct details create an identity that sticks in people's minds. When someone hears a song that reminds them of you or sees something that triggers a memory, they'll feel a deep sense of nostalgia. Being unforgettable doesn't mean trying too hard to impress people. In fact, the more effortless and natural you are, the more impact you have. The most memorable people are those who live with passion, who throw themselves fully into the things they love. When you are passionate about life, your energy becomes contagious. People are drawn to those who radiate enthusiasm because it makes life more exciting. If you show them a different, more vibrant way of experiencing the world, they will miss that spark when it's gone. Another important aspect of being unforgettable is making people feel seen and valued. When you truly listen to someone, remember the little things about them, and make them feel important, they won't forget you. Most people go through life feeling unseen. So when they meet someone who genuinely understands and appreciates them, they develop a deep emotional connection. If you make someone feel special in ways others don't, your absence will create a void that no one else can fill. At the heart of it all, being unforgettable is about leaving an imprint on someone's heart and mind. It's not about being flashy or trying to be someone you're not, it's about being you in the most genuine and meaningful way possible. When you bring something to the table that no one else does, people will feel your absence, and they'll find themselves missing you more than they ever expected. One of the most powerful ways to make someone miss you is by genuinely living your best life. When you are thriving, happy, and engaged in things that bring you joy, people naturally start to notice. They begin to wonder what's making you so fulfilled and why they're not part of it. The more content and confident you are in your own journey, the more attractive and intriguing you become to others. Living your best life doesn't mean pretending to be happy just to get someone's attention. It means truly focusing on your growth, passions, and personal happiness. When you invest in yourself, whether by pursuing hobbies, excelling in your career, traveling, or working on self-improvement, you create a life that is worth missing. People are drawn to those who have a sense of purpose and direction. If your life is full of excitement and meaning, they will naturally feel the desire to be a part of it again. When you focus on yourself, you also stop relying on others for validation. Instead of chasing someone's attention or trying to make them notice you, your energy shifts towards self-fulfillment. This change is incredibly attractive because confidence and independence are qualities that people admire. When someone sees you thriving on your own, they begin to realize what they've lost. They start questioning why they aren't experiencing the joy and success that you are, and this often leads to them missing you more than ever. Another reason living your best life makes someone miss you is because it removes any sense of desperation. If you are constantly checking up on them, waiting for their attention, or seeking their approval, they won't have a reason to miss you. But when you are genuinely too busy enjoying life, they start to feel your absence. They wonder why you're no longer as available, why you're not reaching out like before, and most importantly, why they aren't part of the happiness you're experiencing. Social media can play a significant role in this. While you don't need to overshare, posting about your achievements, adventures, and exciting moments can subtly remind them of what they're missing out on. If they see you glowing, smiling, and surrounded by amazing experiences, it can trigger feelings of nostalgia and even regret. They will start reminiscing about the times they shared with you and wishing they could be part of your present happiness. Moreover, when you prioritize self-growth, you become a better version of yourself. This doesn't just benefit you, it also makes you more desirable in the eyes of others. Whether it's getting in shape, learning new skills, expanding your social circle, or simply becoming more confident, self-improvement enhances your overall presence. When someone sees that you've evolved into an even more incredible person, They won't just miss you, they'll wish they had appreciated you more when they had the chance. At its core, living your best life isn't about making someone else jealous or proving a point. It's about embracing happiness for yourself. The irony is that when you stop focusing on making someone miss you and start focusing on your own growth, that's when they begin to realize just how much they miss you. One of the most effective ways to make someone miss you like crazy is by limiting contact strategically. When you're constantly available, always the first to reach out, or always responding instantly, the other person never gets the chance to feel your absence. But when you step back and reduce communication, they start noticing the silence, wondering why you aren't as present as before. This creates curiosity, and curiosity often leads to longing. Many people make the mistake of thinking that staying in constant touch keeps a connection alive. While communication is important in any relationship, too much of it can actually have the opposite effect. It can make you seem too predictable or even overwhelming. Instead of giving someone the space to miss you, excessive messaging or calls can make your presence feel routine. When something becomes routine, it loses its excitement. That's why pulling back slightly can reignite interest and make them appreciate your presence more. Strategically limiting contact doesn't mean cutting someone off completely. Instead, it's about changing the rhythm of communication. If you used to text them every morning, maybe start waiting until the afternoon or even skipping a day. If you always answer immediately, take a little longer to respond. This subtle shift forces them to wonder what you're up to and why your patterns have changed. It creates a sense of unpredictability, making them think about you more often. Another benefit of reducing contact is that it prevents one-sided effort. If you're always the one initiating conversations or keeping the connection alive, the other person has no reason to put in effort. But when you step back and let them reach out first, it balances the dynamic. It forces them to realize that they actually want to talk to you rather than just responding out of habit. This shift makes them more engaged and invested in the relationship. Taking a break from constant messaging also allows the quality of your conversations to improve. When you're talking all the time, there's less excitement because there's nothing new to share. But when you limit contact and focus on your own life, your interactions become more interesting. Instead of small talk, your conversations become filled with updates, stories, and emotions that make them more meaningful. When conversations feel special, people look forward to them, and that anticipation makes them miss you even more. Social media can also be used strategically when limiting contact. Instead of directly reaching out, posting an interesting update or sharing something exciting about your life can make them think about you without you even needing to message them. They'll see that you're out enjoying life, and it may trigger the thought, why am I not part of this anymore? That question alone can make them reach out, giving you the upper hand in the interaction. Ultimately, limiting contact strategically is about creating a healthy balance. It's not about playing mind games or ghosting someone, it's about giving them the opportunity to realize your worth. When you're always available, people may take you for granted. But when you create just enough distance, they begin to notice the gap you left behind. And that's when they truly start missing you. One of the most effective ways to make someone miss you is by ensuring that your last interaction with them leaves a strong, positive impression. People don't just miss you, they miss how you made them feel. If your last conversation, meeting, or moment together was filled with warmth, laughter, or deep connection, that feeling will linger in their mind long after you're gone. Every time they think back to that moment, they will associate you with positivity, making them crave your presence even more. A positive last impression is powerful because people naturally replay their final memories with someone. If your last encounter was negative, awkward, or full of conflict, That's what they'll remember, and they may not miss you as much as they would have. But if your last moment together was uplifting, engaging, and memorable, they will find themselves wishing they could relive it. The key is to leave them with an emotional high, something that makes them want more of you. One way to leave a lasting impact is through genuine compliments and appreciation. Before parting ways, take a moment to express something positive about them. Whether it's admiration for their personality, appreciation for their presence in your life, or a simple compliment about something they did, those words will echo in their mind. People are drawn to those who make them feel good about themselves. And when you do this right before stepping away, it makes them miss you even more. Another way to create a strong last impression is by making the moment unique. Instead of just saying goodbye in a typical way, do something unexpected. Maybe it's a heartfelt hug, an inside joke that only the two of you understand, or even a playful challenge like, "I bet you'll miss me before I miss you." These little details add an extra layer of personal connection, making your absence feel even more noticeable. Timing also plays a role in leaving a positive last impression. Ending an interaction on a high note rather than letting it drag on until it becomes dull ensures that they remember you at your best. This is why entertainers, speakers, and even performers always aim to end their shows with a bang. People remember the ending more than anything else. So make sure yours is filled with positivity and excitement rather than boredom or awkward silence. Even if you're stepping away from someone due to circumstances beyond your control, how you say goodbye matters. Instead of making the moment heavy with sadness or frustration, frame it in a way that highlights the good times and the possibilities of reconnecting in the future. A simple "I've really enjoyed spending time with you" or "I hope our paths cross again" soon leaves the door open, while still making them feel valued. This makes them reflect on the connection in a positive way and increases the chances of them missing you. At the core of leaving a positive last impression is making sure that your absence feels like a loss. When people look back and remember laughter, meaningful conversations, or a deep emotional bond, they naturally want that feeling back. By ensuring that your final moments with someone are filled with warmth and positivity, you create a mental and emotional imprint that keeps you on their mind long after you've left. Social media is one of the most powerful tools when it comes to making someone miss you. The way you present yourself online can subtly remind them of your presence without direct communication. However, the key is to use social media wisely, not in a way that looks forced, desperate, or overly calculated. When done right, social media can make them think about you, wonder what you're up to, and even feel a sense of longing to be part of your life again. One of the biggest mistakes people make is oversharing. If you post every detail of your day, there's no room for curiosity. Instead of constantly updating your feed, focus on quality over quantity. Share moments that reflect the best version of your life, exciting adventures, personal growth, and genuine happiness. When they see you thriving without needing their validation, it naturally makes them wonder about you and feel a sense of missing out. Another effective strategy is leaving things to the imagination. If you post a picture at a beautiful location, don't immediately explain every detail. A simple caption like "new experiences are the best" instead of "had dinner at this amazing restaurant with my friends" creates curiosity. When someone doesn't have all the information, they start filling in the blanks themselves, which keeps you in their thoughts longer. Engagement on social media also plays a role. Instead of directly messaging them or liking all their posts, take a more subtle approach. Engage with other people, post fun interactions, and let them notice your activity rather than you actively seeking theirs. This shift in dynamic makes them realize that your world is moving forward without them, which can make them miss the connection they once had with you. A well-placed throwback post can also be incredibly effective. Sharing a nostalgic moment, whether it's a song, a memory, or a place, can trigger emotions. If they associate that memory with you, it can spark feelings of longing. However, this should be done naturally. Posting something overly obvious like "I miss the old times" may come across as desperate. Instead, a casual "some things never get old" along with a picture of a meaningful moment can subtly trigger emotions. One thing to avoid is trying to make them jealous in an obvious way. Posting pictures specifically designed to provoke a reaction, like constantly showing off new romantic interests or trying too hard to prove you're happy, can actually push them away. Instead of making them miss you, it can make them feel like you're playing games. Authenticity is key. The goal is to show that you're genuinely enjoying life, not that you're trying to get a reaction out of them. Ultimately, social media should be used as a tool to highlight your best self and remind them of what they're missing without making it look like you're trying too hard. When they see you glowing, growing, and genuinely happy, it creates an irresistible pull. The more they notice your presence online without direct interaction, the more they'll start to miss having you in their life. One of the most powerful ways to make someone miss you is by triggering nostalgia. Nostalgia has a unique way of pulling people back into the past, making them relive emotions and memories they thought were long forgotten. When you remind someone of the good times you shared, they don't just remember the moment, they feel it all over again. That emotional connection can make them long for your presence and crave the bond you once had. Music is one of the strongest triggers of nostalgia. A certain song can instantly transport someone back to a specific time in their life, bringing back the emotions tied to it. If there was a song you both loved, casually mentioning it or posting about it on social media can subtly remind them of you. Without you even saying their name, they'll hear that song and immediately associate it with the memories you shared. Places also hold strong emotional memories. If you used to visit a particular cafe, park, or city together, a simple mention or visit to that place can bring back waves of nostalgia. Even if you don't directly reach out, posting a picture or talking about an experience related to that place can make them relive the moments you had together. This works because people don't just miss a person, they miss the experiences they had with that person. Shared jokes, phrases, or inside references are another great way to trigger nostalgia. If you had a saying you always used or an inside joke that was just between the two of you, bringing it up in a subtle way can make them remember the connection you had. Nostalgia isn't just about big life-changing moments, it's also about the small, seemingly insignificant details that made your relationship special. Scents are also powerful memory triggers. The smell of a familiar perfume, a favorite meal, or even something like fresh rain can bring back emotions tied to a person. If you used to wear a specific fragrance or loved a particular candle scent, a casual mention or use of it can stir up old memories. Even if they randomly encounter that scent somewhere else, they might suddenly find themselves thinking about you without even realizing why. Another way to trigger nostalgia is through photos and memories. Sharing an old picture or bringing up a happy moment from the past can remind them of how much fun, laughter, and warmth you brought into their life. However, the key is to do it naturally. Instead of saying, "I miss those days," you could say something like, "This memory popped up today, good times." This keeps the interaction light while still making them think about you. At its core, triggering nostalgia works because it taps into deep emotions. When people remember the best parts of a relationship, they start to miss not just the past, but also the feeling of being with you. When done right, nostalgia doesn't just remind them of what was, it makes them wonder if they could experience it with you again. Confidence and independence are two of the most attractive qualities a person can have, and they play a crucial role in making someone miss you. When you carry yourself with confidence and show that you are happy and fulfilled on your own, people naturally take notice. They start wondering why you're doing so well without them. And that curiosity often leads to them missing you more than ever. Confidence isn't just about how you look or speak. It's about knowing your worth and living in a way that reflects it. Being independent means that your happiness and sense of fulfillment don't depend on someone else. When you show that you have your own life, goals, and passions, it makes you more desirable. No one misses someone who is overly clingy or needy, but they do miss people who bring value to their lives without demanding constant attention. Independence signals that you are a strong person with or without them, and that makes them appreciate you more. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to be missed is chasing after someone. The more you pursue, the less room you give them to feel your absence. But when you stand firm in your confidence, focusing on your own journey, they begin to notice the space you've left. Instead of feeling suffocated, they start to wonder why you're no longer seeking them out. This subtle shift in energy makes them realize how much they actually want you in their life. Confidence also makes interactions more impactful. When you carry yourself with certainty, people listen to you, respect you, and remember you. They start associating you with strength and self-assurance, which makes your presence valuable. If someone sees you thriving, setting goals, and achieving things without hesitation, they will start missing your influence and the energy you bring into their life. Independence doesn't mean shutting people out, it means knowing that you don't need them to be happy. When someone sees that you are capable of enjoying life, making decisions, and finding joy in your own company, they begin to admire you even more. This admiration often translates into missing you because they realize that you are a rare person, someone who is whole on their own yet still brings so much value to those around them. Self-improvement is another powerful way to showcase confidence and independence. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, whether it's through fitness, learning new skills, or advancing in your career, you send a silent message that you are constantly evolving. People miss those who inspire them, and when they see you growing and improving, they will wish they were still a part of your journey. At the heart of confidence and independence is the idea that you are enough on your own. When you truly believe that, others will believe it too. Instead of trying to make someone miss you through neediness or longing, you make them miss you by being the kind of person they want to be around, strong, self-assured, and irreplaceable. If you want someone to miss you like crazy, it's not just about the time apart, it's also about what happens when you finally reconnect. The way you handle that first interaction after some distance can determine whether they feel excitement and longing or just a casual indifference. When you make the moment special, it strengthens their emotional attachment to you and makes them appreciate your presence even more. One of the best ways to make your reconnection memorable is to bring positive energy. Instead of focusing on what went wrong or why there was distance, keep the conversation light, warm, and engaging. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel good. So if your presence brings joy and excitement, they will associate those feelings with you. This makes them look forward to seeing you again and missing you when you're not around. Reconnecting should also feel fresh and new. If you fall into the same old patterns right away, there's no sense of excitement. Instead, introduce something different, maybe suggest a fun activity, bring up an interesting topic, or show a new side of yourself they haven't seen before. This keeps the interaction engaging and makes them feel like they are rediscovering you all over again. Timing is also important when reconnecting. If you jump back in too soon before they've had the chance to truly miss you, it might not have the same impact. But if you wait until they are genuinely curious about you and wondering what you've been up to, your return will feel more meaningful. Sometimes absence does make the heart grow fonder, but only if you allow enough time for that longing to build up. Your body language and confidence also play a big role when reconnecting. If you appear nervous, hesitant, or too eager, it can shift the dynamic and make them feel like they have the upper hand. But if you approach the situation with calm confidence, looking and feeling your best, they will see you in a new light. This can reignite their interest and make them realize just how much they've missed you. Another way to make your reconnection special is to create a new positive memory together. Instead of dwelling on the past, focus on making this interaction enjoyable and unforgettable. Maybe it's a great conversation, a shared laugh, or an unexpected fun moment. When they walk away from the interaction feeling uplifted, they will continue thinking about you long after you're gone. Ultimately, reconnecting isn't just about picking up where you left off, it's about reminding them why they were drawn to you in the first place. By making the moment feel special, exciting, and emotionally fulfilling, you ensure that they don't just remember you fondly, but they also start longing to be around you even more.